in society, this self-help movement. So joining us to talk about personal growth are the stars of the production. We have in studio with us Lindsay Mullan.
Hello.
We have Alexa MacKell.
Hello.
And we have Renee Amber.
Hi.
Thank you all for coming in.
No problem.
Thanks for having us.
Namaste.
Hey, I didn't know that you did not serious news here.
We do it all.
What?
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna start
if you want
listening
to
at 2:30 in the afternoon.
we could do a serious political conversation. If you're in the mood for
I
it.
will.
Don't get it twisted. This
I
is
will
serious.
get
We're raising the
so
vibration of the universe with this show.
In this room.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
okay. So who do we credit for this idea?
Now,
This
Lindsay,
concept.
Yeah, Lindsay was the one who came up with the idea of doing a show based on the self-help movement that's been all over social media and just, annoying everyone on Facebook. And so she called me a while back and said, hey, we should do a show making fun of this because everyone is just all about face masks and charcoal and hot yoga and float therapy. And it's ridiculous and it may help people. But if you take a step back or not even like a regular step at it, it's crazy what these people are doing.
I was going through a breakup and I was reading every self-help book, watching every video. Everyone I knew was telling me to learn to love myself, and I wanted to kill everybody.
Really? What's wrong with loving yourself, though? What do you got against that?
Oh, no, we had nothing against it.
It's just so
we just
hard.
don't know what it means to love yourself. We're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's so difficult. Like, it's really hard when you're going through a rough time and you have to watch all this self-help stuff that actually makes you feel kind of worse in a way because you feel like, oh, I can't do that. I feel so down in the dumps. And so we wanted to be that show where people could come be their worst self with us.
Yeah.
And
so-
I have my library is full of self-help books. Like I single-handedly have made some ripples in the $9.9 billion industry that is the self-help industry. Like I have spent the money.
Yeah,
So
we've invested.
yeah.
I mean, we're not saying that you shouldn't get this help. I own a deck of tarot cards. I'm just as much to blame as anyone. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I just made fun of float therapy, and I did it like 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing.
Yeah, you can make
I
fun
felt
of
like
it
a
because
baby.
you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that the rule?
So it's really you're mocking Gwyneth Paltrow, really.
We are. Oh, yeah. She's not safe. Her and the Dalai Lama, they ain't safe in this show. Everyone.
So much of it, right? When you think of self-help, who do you think of? And I think you're kind of describing what Gwyneth Paltrow has become. You got people like
Tony Robbins.
Right?
Yep.
Who's just this
classic.
muscular, energetic, dominate the world.
Right.
But there's this whole new brand of like these evangelicals, like this Joel Osteen. It's all about
Yeah.
God wants you to be successful and rich, and it's self-help in a spiritual sense.
The
Like
self-help,
there's so much
there's so
of
many
it.
channels. Like there's channels where you'll have a religious element. There's channels where you'll have like a get rich quick, some mogul like Pitbull, the rapper, will come tell me how to be more successful. Like
And then there's
everything.
everything for dummies. You know?
Oh, yeah, everything for dummies.
So there's the whole spectrum. I was listening to The Universe Has Your Back on Super Soul Sunday on the way here. So
Is that Oprah? Is that what?
yeah, I'm
Soul-
just pretending to do
Okay.
research, but really I'm doing it seriously.
Yeah. Hey, Oprah's coming to town. See, we have it on our board up there.
Oh,
Oprah
my
Winfrey,
goodness.
June 19th
Oh,
at the
my
Scotiabank Saddle Dome.
Invite her for a private show.
And one thing, especially in my generation, is the Instagram self-help. That's all over, and it's like hashtag Fitspiration, and it's all these people with amazing weight loss stories, or hashtag double chin for the win, and all these things. And I've struggled with my weight, and depression and anxiety, and all these things. And you go and you compare yourself to all these people, while in a way you're like, I'm helping myself, like liking all these things. And so it's kind of, I think one of the things that we're trying to go for is like, you can't compare your own personal growth journey to anyone else's. It's all about what helps you in the moment and what helps you in the long run, rather than, looking at someone and being, like this type of therapy works for them, or why is their skin so clear, instead of being, like, I really like, I don't know, goat yoga. I'm going to keep doing that.
Goat yoga.
Which is a thing.
Goat yoga
I haven't tried
is
it.
a thing?
Yeah.
That sounds dangerous.
Well, they're baby goats, right?
Yeah, they're baby
I think
goats.
it's quite adorable, actually.
Yeah, super cute.
Yeah, I have a baby, and it can be dangerous holding her.
But I think you touch on something, because it's one thing to see a guy on television say, you follow my 9 steps, and you'll also have a private jet just like me. It just, there's a detachment. But we do, and we see it constantly on our social media stream, people that we know or kind of know, or at least seem relatable to us, making it seem like they're living their best lives. And we sort of feel like, why aren't we? Why aren't we living up to that? Why am I not that person I went to high school with? Why am I not where they are?
If I have one more person ask me to join their squat challenge on Facebook,
Hey,
I'm gonna
buddy,
lose my
remember
mind.
me? Join my squat challenge. Yeah. But but you talked about the 9 steps. I was making a list of all the books I have that have numbers in the title, like the 13 steps to mental strength.
Oh yeah, it's always a different number.
Yeah, and but I mean, what you're saying is what's different between them and us, but it's really like that's a slice of a moment of their lives in which they're affirming maybe what they're aspiring to, and so it's obviously that's not it's not a one note life.
Yeah, comparing their highlight reel to your everyday life, that's a step to depression for sure.
I mean, so.
it's an addiction, right? Self-help can become an addiction.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm sure I have it. Like I'm addicted to coffee, and I love reading self-help books. There's just it's like it's like a modern version of reading a romance novel.
Yeah.
But the romance is with myself.
That could be me. Yeah.
So there's fodder here, obviously. This is something people have a lot of opinions on. How do you translate that into a show, right?
Well, we were we met up over margaritas, and we were like, what are the main tropes of self-help and some of the things, the words that get used? And so we made up a vision board. Because a lot of therapists, if you don't know what a vision board is, if you want to manifest positive things in your life, you make basically like a grade 7 health class poster project where you cut out positive words and affirmations and pictures of the life you want to have. So we took like inspirational things like that to help inspire scenes. And then we also made a board called a trauma board. And it's just all the horrible, negative things we suffer through. And we're going to make scenes based on audience members' lives, our lives.
Right. So this improv show, we're taking these, especially with the trauma board, like some of the things I was cutting out from a newspaper, I was like, oh my God, yep, that's me. Yeah. And then like same with the vision board. And so we're going to take those ideas and audience stories and put them on stage in a way that is relatable, but also humorous at the same time.
Yeah, between us, we have over 40 years of improv experience. So we're basically doing scenes. We're making them up on the spot.
Yeah, so
using these
that's
things, right?
very much the Loose Moose brand.
Yeah.
Is the
very
improv
much.
element, right?
Yeah, really, it is. We're excited about the theme, but we're very excited to do Loose Moose Improv. That short form, funny, truthful, fun stuff.
Relatable. Yeah, and in the vein of lists, we do promise that at the end of the show, we're going to have a list that is based completely on that show. So like specific to the audience in the room of how to improve your life. So
I do find, and tell me more about, improv as an art, because I get the concept of sitting around and, writing a script and editing it, rewriting it, editing it to nail down, the perfect joke or the perfect character exchange. Improv's a different kind of beast, right? I mean, it's a different kind of comedy. Is it a different kind of skill set? How do you compare it to acting, where you're reading, you're given a script and you rehearse it a certain way, as opposed to just letting it flow?
Having the ability to act and to read a script and to embody that character that's a great skill to have as an improviser. You can bring that to improv, but the actually coming up with a story in front of the audience as it's happening it's its own skill. And
it's a muscle.
It's a muscle, and it's like I always think of it as actually going to the gym. Like when we grew up going to Loose Moose every weekend, and it's it's kind of like going to, if you're a boxer. You go to the gym, you're up in the ring, and you punch people.
But you don't punch people in improv.
No, but sometimes we get to kiss them on stage.
It's
That's
punchy.
fun.
It can get punchy up there. And so it's a muscle, and you learn just by instant feedback from the audience what works and what doesn't.
Right. Our goal on stage is in the moment trying to make a story that the audience cares about and that they can relate to. So we try to build relationships on stage through the characters and the stories that we make up on the spot. So we are really, especially through this show, we're trying to find a key spot where the audience can look and say, yeah, I relate to that, but also still find the humor in it, which is a huge part of improv, is just finding that, chord that you strike with the audience that kind of brings them in more than, I don't know, like a stand-up might.
And I'll be honest, like there is a method to improv. I think a lot of people think we just go up there and start yakking.
Winging
but
it, right?
yeah, it's not. We take classes on it, and the Loose Moose Theater, which has been in Calgary for 40 years now,
over 40
has
years.
offered free classes in exchange for people ripping tickets and working concession. And I've moved out to Toronto and done improv in other places, and there's no company that offers that like they do here. Like they train people to be great, and then they send them off, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and on the topic of self-help too, Loose Moose has really helped me grow as a person and grow as a performer, but also find out who I am as a person and what I value, which is something that, I couldn't pay for that, even though Loose Moose wouldn't let me because they're free classes in exchange for volunteer time.
There is legitimate, genuine, beneficial self-help, right? I mean, self-help can be a positive as much as it's commoditized nowadays,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
We just sound cynical, but we swear we're not that.
Well,
And actually, we're not. And one thing I like about the Loose Moose is that there is a real throbbing heart underneath all of these scenes. It's not cynical humor. It's genuinely funny, but there is a soul there too.
Yeah. It is also, by the way, a little bit, shall we say, after hours.
Ooh, yeah. Our show's at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Past your
stay
bedtime
up.
almost.
Yeah, drink some coffee. Come hang out with us.
But it's Friday and Saturday night. Live a little.
I know.
Yeah, we're in Ramsey, so there are a lot of people who live in the neighborhood. It's close to all the places you can get to with an Uber.
Yeah, like the
But
Lilydale Chicken Factory. Anywhere you want to go in Ramsey.
The old adage, though, right, is the sky gets darker, the humor gets bluer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hold true.
I think
Come on
so.
and see.
This
Yes.
is, yeah. I mean, I guess if you compare it to like when you watch morning shows on television, it's very clean humor.
Yes.
So it would only make sense that if we're doing a late night show, that we're disgusting. I know.
No. We didn't discuss that part.
No, we didn't. We'll be a bit naughty. We always have a little bit of naughty, but yeah, we'll keep our heart. It'll be fine.
All right. So it's Friday, Saturday night.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're
10:30.
14 or older, I think you're fine because you've seen television, so we won't truly traumatize you.
And the beauty of improv is that if people go both nights, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah,
It'll
they're
be
100% different.
different.
Completely different shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
We'll
can-
even be wearing different outfits.
Wow. We'll wash her.
You don't see that in theater.
No, I guess not. All right. So tickets available at the door. Also, loosemoose.com.
Yes.
Yep. They're $15 a ticket.
Yeah, it's like going to the movies.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We're like the Avengers, except there's less of us and
Less fit.
less fit. Yeah.
But we're
Well.
working on it because we're into self-help.
That's right. Well, congrats on this. Personal growth. Again, tomorrow night, Saturday night at the Loose Moose Theater. Thank you all for coming in here. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much for having us.
That's Lindsay Mullan, Renee Amber, Alexa MacKell. Personal growth this weekend at the Loose Moose Theater. My name is Rob Breakenridge. Much more still to come. We're back with more right after.